summer solstice. And this is the 20th year we've been doing this. It is?
Oh yeah, you should definitely. There's
And so become yourself, because your past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's hell will slowly go by.
Well, my parents were sort of Eleanor Roosevelt liberals, and so there was a right and wrong, you know, in terms of racial justice and things like that. Growing up in a Jewish family, the idea of identifying with oppressed people, coming from the experience of the Holocaust, was very deep.
I grew up in a very political family, a very left-wing family, so it's something that I've grown up with all my life.
Laura's parents were blacklisted communists, and she was in SNCC, and early in the in the days when it was not safe to do that.
Jamaica Plain was one of the very few neighborhoods in Boston that was racially integrated. Although there was certainly, within Jamaica Plain there were divisions, but there was certainly more racial integration in Jamaica Plain than a lot of other neighborhoods at that point. When we moved up in 1973, it was the beginning of the whole desegregation busing crisis, and a lot of overt racial violence and upset and incidents and stuff. And we wanted to play some role in it, but we didn't really feel like we could play some role in it living in Somerville. And friends of mine were buying houses. They were triple-deckers for $13,000, $15,000.
Part of it, I guess, was getting older and feeling a different need for community.
Even though we've lived here for a long time, there is something that I feel so incredibly lucky, and I'm aware of it all the time. It's not something that I stop being aware of or just take for granted. I am aware all the time, pretty much every day, of how unbelievably lucky I am to have this house, to own a house that is nice on a really nice street.
Houses on this street are over 10 times the cost of what they were when we moved in here.
We've lost a lot of kind of more like small town stores that used to be here, that people depended on, that were inexpensive, that had, knew that you could go and get underwear and thread and bird food and all kind of stuff you get at Woolworths. There's nothing like that. There's no, CVS isn't really the same thing.
I look at the Civil War, which is always sort of the ideal, the ideal of a war that really needed to be fought. Well, the North won the first, the first 4 years, and then something that war produced led to 100 years of the bad guys winning, and then it had to be refought again.
It's something I feel like I have to keep rethinking, because there's a part of me that would like to say no. And sometimes I do think that. Sometimes I think it's never justified, because the losses, there have to be, basically what I would hope for is what I think is that there have to be better ways of finding solutions to conflicts. To me, it's obviously been used as a horrible excuse for untold destruction and aggression, completely unjustified.
People in the government, at the very least, knew about 9/11, so the whole question about whether the government responded to it, I think that there's a sort of a game being played between whoever did it and this government, and that game is still going on.
There have been other low points, but this is a really low one. And in terms of our relationship with the rest of the entire world, in terms of, you know, any semblance of being a real democracy, you know, what's happening to the media, the corporate control, all of it. It's a low point. But that doesn't make me not feel like I'm a patriot or that I don't care about this country. I mean, I care deeply about this country, and that's part of why it bothers me that all of this is happening.
You don't have to be scared. You don't have to be scared of well, I don't know if they're probably still scared of black people fucking their wives, or homosexuals fucking their children, or, you know, or people from other countries coming and taking away their guns, or the UN and the I don't know, but I think they're just, people are just scared of a lot of stuff.
We all have a responsibility to work together to try to make this country be the best that it can be.
I really admire Laura's she's a long distance runner. The people I admire the most are the people who are long distance runners in this struggle that we've been talking about.
I love your tenacity and your real, you know, you're really tenacious about getting things right and pursuing the things that you really want to do. You're very solid. You're very solid. And you're an incredibly good friend. Very loyal and very giving.
It's mine. It's my country. It's mine, for better or worse.
What came to mind was a dream deferred.